Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the WT Coaches Show. I'm your host, Zach Barnes. And, of course, kicking off this week is head football coach Mike Nesbitt. Coach, how are you?
Doing great, Zach. How are you?
Doing well. Coach, congrats on the 24-14 win over Kingsville. Pretty sloppy one, nice and wet, but, it was a good one for you guys. Aldridge Mitchell set a new rush record for 45 carries in that game where, 2 weeks ago against Midwestern, he had set it before that with 40, and then he reset his own record. How was that for you guys?
Well, it was good. We got to play in a hurricane, so it was neat. Watched a hurricane blow across Mexico and into the Gulf, and so it was a lot of fun. We had played in some rain and mist. It was the fourth quarter and the second half. It was like we were kind of like at your uncle's barbecue a little bit. It was just the mister was on the whole time and about a nice 20-mile-an-hour wind. But other than that, it was good. And Wink carried the ball really well. I thought Jeremy did a great job. And we had to feed him the ball in the second half. We had a one-score lead there going in the fourth quarter, and so we just needed to kind of pound it out and protect the lead, and Jeremy did a good job with that.
And as well, kind of how do you feel about the rest of the team play? Because you also got about 300 rush yards as a team.
Well, we saw a new tailback kind of really emerge in Devon Pay. I thought Devon played great and ran with some aggression, and we were calling it kind of like a controlled violence for him on Sunday when we watched the tape. I thought he did a good job of just carrying the football. And as a team, I thought our O-line did a good job and improved in some areas in the run blocking. And it was one of those situations where we knew we were going to have to do it. And I thought Ethan, some of the throws we did give him in the third and fourth quarter, he handled the football really well. And you saw Jerry and Roan step up on a couple big crossing routes that we needed to convert on third down and made some plays. And then he had a great run going in there in the goal line area in the red zone where little toss sweep play to him and had to break a couple tackles and make a couple guys miss. And we were actually getting ready to call a timeout on that play. And old Bug just jumped in the end zone and did a good job.
And then this week on Saturday at noon, fun little bit of a game time there. You've got the big one. You've got Eastern New Mexico coming to town for the Wagon Wheel, trying to get that one back. Big running team, of course, and like you had kind of said Monday, they're one of the best, if not the best, offense in the league right now. Berman put 123 yards, Gary with 139 on the ground, and Cass with 188 on the ground against Angelo State, and over 500 yards on offense as a team on the ground. And so, what are you guys looking at with that?
Well, dang, Zach, you scared me now. I don't know if we'll do anything against these guys. Holy smokes. But go back to work, I guess. But no, it's like I said Monday, it's kind of like we're playing the 1986 Oklahoma Sooners right now. I was kind of waiting to see Barry Switzer walk across the field. And Jamel Holloway and the boys. Berman's doing a great job, and he's grown up in the offense, and he's known the offense since he was a high school kid. And their coaches, Kelly and those guys do a great job over there. And Josh Lynn, it's a staff that has been running this offense for their whole lives, and so they understand it. They know how people are going to try to defend it, and they've grown. And Cass and Gary have done just a fantastic job this season. And it's a big game. We're trying to find. We've got a little list of all the lists that you can do for what uses can you use for a wagon wheel. It came up Monday, and so we've come up with the chandelier and different things. But the most important thing is win it. We got to get that thing back. I had JW and a bunch of guys from the Key Shop call me this morning, looking forward to seeing that wagon wheel back in the AC when they come to work every day. And it's a big game. It's a big game for this team and our community, and we need to step up our game versus these guys because they've played really hard against us the last 2 seasons. And had a call from Dustin Vaughn and a couple other former players making sure that we understood the importance, because that was the group that we did lose it with the first time, and now they want it back just as bad as this class we have now. So it's going to be a daunting task. They're playing great on defense, and Eastern's doing a great job running the football. So we've got a lot of holes to plug, and hopefully we can get after it and be real physical with them. And
just kind of one last question, how does it also probably play into the game with it also being senior night?
Well, it's we're going to graduate some guys and watch some guys walk across the field for the last time in Kimbrough, and that's something that if we can get a lot of fans out, those seniors really deserve it because they've done a good job in this program. And a guy like Jacob Laguna and Ethan Morris and Alex Tucci and John Sheehy, and you just go down that list of guys and Sia and some of those guys, it makes you kind of sad to watch them leave, not just because of their talent, but just because of how good of kids they are and good people. And so we'll be sending them off in the real world here in December and May, and it'll be sad to see them go.
Well, Coach, I'd like to wish you luck on Saturday, and thanks for joining us. And
Appreciate
folks,
it.
that game is at noon on Saturday at Kimbrough Memorial Stadium. Like to see you out there, but if you can't make it, you can catch live stats and live streaming at golesgo.com. Hello everyone and welcome back to this week's edition of the WT Coaches Show. Up next for us is men's soccer coach Butch Lauffer. Coach, how you doing?
Good, sir. How you doing?
Doing well. Well, Coach, things are still looking pretty well for you guys after a 6-game winning streak. You lost a tough one to Fort Hays on Saturday, a tough one, but you guys are coming up on your final home games on Thursday and Monday.
Correct.
Thursday, the big one with Midwestern State, number 2 in the nation right now. First, kind of talk about how you guys are trying to bounce back from that Fort Hays game.
Well, when you go back and look at the video and stuff like that, we thought we played really well, and was very unfortunate about how the game ended in double overtime on the corner kick. And you go back and look at the tape, and it's very questionable on the referee awarding a corner kick when there's no way it's a corner kick. And we had a goal called back for a handball. When you look at the tape, it's not a handball. And so we had chances to win the game, and we didn't take those chances a little bit. But we're just trying to bounce back, and because there was a lot of emotional capital spent that night, and so we've just tried to be, as a coaching staff, try to be even keeled this week, and not to make more than more of a normal game type of environment and training and stuff like that. And there's not going to be any Newt Rockney speeches that are going to be necessary for Thursday night.
And, speaking of Thursday night, it's a big-time rival, Midwestern State.
Yeah.
It's going to be a very physical game, very high motors. What are some things that y'all are looking to?
Well, we want to. We've been playing well, and we want to. And I know they've scouted us 4 times, so I think they respect our team and are a little nervous about playing us. And it's always whether we're playing here or there, it's always a very tight game. And but we're going to have to make sure that we match the energy and match the emotion, and make sure we're ready to play right from the whistle. And as I told the team yesterday, the mental preparation has to be that they need to be ready to play 120 minutes, not 90 minutes. So I think we'll be okay, and we got a lot of kids that want to win this game, and so I think we're going to do great.
And then before we kind of talk about Lubbock Christian a little bit, what are some things that you guys are going to have to do to kind of mentally get your guys prepared for Midwestern, because this game does have a tendency to get a little choppy sometimes?
I think it's more of is trying to manage the hype, and trying not to get the kids too emotionally up too soon, and try to keep them on both feet on the ground and calm and relaxed, and not get so wound up that they're on the wrong side of that bell curve when kickoff starts. And so we're just trying to get better every day, and I know it's a kind of a cliche, but we're just trying to get better and keep working on things. And we told them respect the opponent, but don't fear it. And that's kind of been our attitude all week. And I think with them coming and watch us 4 times, I think there's some respect, but maybe some fear on their part too.
And then your final home game of the season is Monday night against Lubbock Christian.
It'll be senior night. We got 7 seniors that are leaving our program, and so that's always an emotional night, and so we got to again manage that emotions as well, because you have kids and parents, and coming to a conclusion of hopefully a very positive athletic and academic experience here at WT, and so again that's and those games have turned into be pretty competitive as well, so we have to be ready to go for that game as well. But not putting the cart before the horse. We're just focused on Thursday night first.
Well, Coach, thank you for being with us.
You're welcome.
Today.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Good luck on those last few games.
Appreciate it.
Folks, if you can't make it out to those games, of course you can see live stats and live streaming at GoBuffsCo.com. Hello everyone, and welcome back to this week's edition of the WT Coaches Show. Up next for us is Coach Jason Skoch with Volleyball. Coach, how are you?
Doing good, thank you.
Well, Coach, just quick little kind of recap. Past 3 games took on Texas Women's, Commerce, and Cameron. Lost all 3 of those. 2 of those went into 5 sets, and so a little bit of a tough battle there. And you're about to come into your final weekend at home with Angelo State and Tarleton State coming into town. What are some things that you're doing with the girls to keep them motivated for this weekend?
Well, the biggest thing is we're telling the kids is like, and I'm sure a lot of coaches say this kind of stuff, but we honestly believe this. These things can be used for good, and what we're telling them is regardless of what happens for the rest of the year, we're going to be better for this. And so when you look back at this, or you can hold your head up and show that you honor this, and then you can show what fight is. Those losses to TWU, Commerce, and Cameron those are good teams, and the same demons keep getting us where we start off too slow, and then we have to fight back. And Commerce, I was talking to their coaches afterwards, and that's the best they've played, bar none, for a while. And so it just reminds you anybody can win on any night. But it really is. It always comes, even when you're winning, people don't realize that. But when you lose, it really does it's a reality check about, character. So we're just saying, look, we're going to keep on because there are things that are happening, that are developing. TW beat us in 3 last time. We just played Cameron a week ago. We knew it was at their place. We knew that they didn't play that great at our place. But, it's more of can we still keep our eye on the prize of just developing? And, there was some good things that had come out of those losses. And so the reality is that I'm not beat down. I'm not going to show that to the girls. My coaching staff's not. Some of our seniors and some of our juniors are not. So it's really up to the younger kids that this could actually take a toll on because they don't understand the longevity of a season. Hopefully they follow the leadership of the upperclassmen, and you never know. You never know. I feel good long term. I feel good that we're making some progress towards the conference tournament, and so what we're hoping is we show a little bit more offensive firepower this weekend, and what we're showing is that we can start stronger. And one last thing about this is in TWU and in Cameron, we actually had leads at the end of set 5, and we lost all of them because of errors on our part, but not. I've done this enough where a lot of people say it's their fault, but they don't want to admit that the other team did some stuff to create those errors. They were truly our errors, even those coaches would admit it. So, and then Cameron, so it's painful because those are 2 wins we could have. So the losses are hiding the fact that we are getting better, but we're lean, and so they're learning that you can't take plays off. So one more thing is we have a freshman named Courtney Curl that she's having some amazing moments and then some low lows. No one would notice it because most of the time your freshmen are going to be surrounded, and that was the goal, is to have her surrounded by a lot of upperclassmen so they could sort of get baited in. Long term, Courtney Curl and some of our other freshmen they're going to be better for this long term. So we're just trying to make sure some of it clicks this year so our lone senior can have a great ending to her career.
And speaking of that lone senior night is actually Tuesday night, November 3rd against Eastern New Mexico, and that lone senior, of course, is Lexi Davis. And how big is it to try and end on the season on a high note before you guys hit the road to Wichita?
Well, yeah, high note. I just want Lexi to go out on top. Lexi reminded me that we've been together for about 8 years because I coached her in club, and then she's from Dumas, and she was sort of giving the girls a sort of a lecture after the match last night about how to handle your business, and she wouldn't have said that kind of stuff, and some stuff I alluded to you beforehand. She's done a lot of maturing, but she's great, and so we always tell the kids every year we fight for the seniors, and so we want that win, of course, but I want her to go out on top, especially at home, just because she's done a lot for us. I want people to think about this. In volleyball, we're a height determining team. Lexi's 5'10" at best, and she's in the middle. It's like playing post in basketball. Like, at some level, height determines a lot of stuff.
No.
And that's how competitive in volleyball IQ great Lexi is. And so, part of me, I don't know, she's done a lot for the program, so I really hope that she ends on a strong note.
Coach, I'd like to wish you luck this weekend, and I thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
All right, folks, thank you for joining us this week on the WT Coaches Show. Of course, if you can't make it to those matches, you can catch live streaming and live stats at GoBuffsGo.com. But for the WT Sports Network and for Coach Skoch, I'm Zach Barnes, and we'll see you next week.